you're feeling more connected to your work than to the people in your life, I want you to stay and watch this because I want to talk about something that I'm seeing unfold in real time before my eyes. A lot of high achieving women, including myself, were using AI right now. In fact, if you're not, you need to. And don't just take my word for it. And while it's making us sharper, faster, more capable, doing all the things, what I'm also seeing and what I'm also noticing is that it's making it so much more easier to stay disconnected. And not in the way that people are saying where you're outsourcing your thinking to AI and you're outsourcing your everything to AI. That's not the disconnect that I mean. This one is more subtle. The disconnection happens without you realizing it's happening because as you get more productive, as you accomplish more things at higher levels of proficiency and surpass all the mastery and all that, when as that continues to happen, you don't have to stop. AI gives you the answer, the plan, the email, the scripts, the structure, all that good stuff, the right words, even in some instances. The disconnect is happening because you don't have to collaborate with as many people or anyone at all anymore. And talking through teamwork is getting less and less attractive, especially for people who identify as introverted or who don't necessarily like to collaborate. The need for that is getting less and less. The desire for it is getting less and less. But underneath that is where the disconnect that I'm trying to tease out is we are able to use this to completely cover the relationships in our lives. So it's one thing not to be a team player or person in the way that they want you to always meet with teams and organize and plan and groups and all that professionally or at work. It's another when at home because that is happening. You're using your higher levels of productivity to mask the the unsettled the how do I say it? The unsettled feeling that you have when it comes to relating with the people, close people in your life. For a lot of women who already know to disregard and what I would like to say override themselves and stay functional. This is what we do, AI or no AI, right? This is what we do. We keep moving without ever getting to it. Like we keep this facade going without ever opening up to really get into relationships that expose our vulnerabilities, relationships that or connections that push us to open up and really tap into how we're feeling. Because when you keep doing this, you don't have to sit with anything that feels or that makes you feel. I was going to say makes you feel connected. You don't have to sit with anything that brings up feelings. And so the fact that your marriage is dry, your relationship is one-sided, you're doing everything, there's no commitment, you're not getting what you want. The marriage feels like a roommate type of situation. Your friendships are very unidirectional from you just giving. Your romantic connections are again happening because you're doing all of it. So even the fact that you're tired and really need to disconnect, you're able to master that because of this high level of productivity that is being supported by AI and you bringing it into your relationships, whether at home or in other areas of your life. So you're at midlife and wondering where you went. Where are you in all of this? Because productivity at work keeps you going, but wearing that same, um, operating in that same field, I'll say, outside of work, is causing a lot of disconnect from who you are. And that feeling of, is this it? What else is there? Is growing and getting bigger. You know, we are using it now. It's actually become so mainstream that where, as a high achiever who was, which almost all of us so far have seen, dealing with unworthiness at the core, we were able to, or we were at some point exposed, and we had to deal with those issues. But now, with this, the productivity, the high levels of systemization that we're getting from, I feel like I'm making up words, from using AI, is really, really masking that. And my fear is that if I don't spread this news, if I don't share, we'll completely be at the point where discomfort, unfulfillment, lack of real connections will be completely masked, will be kept at bay. And that questioning that is there will not even be there anymore. You know, we'll be so oriented towards output that we've outsourced our truth and the desires of our heart, so that you'll basically just stay externally successful, highly productive, productive to the level that even the nudge that is there, that is pointing you to check back into yourself, to start to feel again, to start to own that life is more than just doing, and your being is actually the what is needed of you, will be completely wiped out. So you'll be externally successful, internally disconnected, but at high levels of productivity. I hope this makes sense. So the pattern is that stagnant relationships just keep functioning. That's what it would look like. And there's no point where there's a crash and burn where you're like, this has to end, this has to change. We can't keep going on like this because productivity is so high, you know, and even disappointments just keep you producing at all time highs. Loneliness doesn't even, it's not able to organically surface, right? Because we can talk to ChatGPT now and all the other GPTs out there. I'm just using that one, but there's so many other. Even I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to rein it in. You know, AI supports that pattern because there's no built-in pause for humanity. And I'm a big fan of AI. Don't get me wrong. In fact, when people say I don't use it, I'm like, you've been using it even from the days of MapQuest and all those other Siri, all those things. Those are all AI operated things, or but anyway, I digress. But I have to check myself and say, you know what? I still need to be human. I still need to connect. And I will never outsource my feelings to a machine, in essence, right? Because the pause that would have made you notice is not there anymore. And I've even seen this shift in my clients. As a life coach, I'm saying that where they would be reaching out for support earlier, there's a sense of, I can get ChatGPT, I can get Claude, I can get Perplexity, I can get all the plethora of um, GPTs and AIs and all that to do or to create a plan for me. And when that fails or doesn't yield what you're looking for, is when pe- folks are more open to human help. There's an illusion that ChatGPT, again, that's just the one example. Okay, so I understand that there are many. I myself use a lot. Can do almost everything, and so the the idea that if you're feeling at a crossroads in your life where you would seek human connections to help to move you through or talk through you're outsourcing that to a machine in the expectation that it's going to help you to connect is one that is a trap to fall into easily, but one that is also crazy, if you know what I mean. Because there's no feeling, there's no asking of so embedded questions, it doesn't help you to notice what's missing. It's just another way of staying busy, giving you things to do and focus on, as opposed to pausing you to reconnect to yourself. So that's what I wanted to share. If any of this is resonating and you are trying to get out of that in terms of using it to fill the void where you need some direction, where you're feeling an unease about where you are midlife, why am I feeling like this? What else is there? Why is the success that I have not really resonating like that on the inside? Why am I not able to move through this the way that I've been able to move through all the other things in my life? It's because you need a human touch, okay? And so I have a guide. You need human guidance to help you to get back in touch with yourself. This part, you can outsource a lot of things, but this part you can't. And that's why I say productivity is masking so well that internal, why is my life like this? And I want to share something with you that will help you to get back to yourself, to help you to reconnect, to bring your feelings up, to start to get in touch with the desires of your soul. It's called the Unperformed Woman's Guide. The link is in the description. I would love, love, love for you to try it. Very simple. It takes about 5 minutes max. And just give me some feedback. It's worked. It's what I did when I first started in my journey after years and years of performing for worthiness and for validation. When I finally realized that if I continued like this, I would just live a life where at the end it would be about choose and doing, and there would be no real meaning to it. And it helped me. So I'll see you in the next video. Check it out. Link is in the